Road safety during the holiday season remains a critical concern, especially on major routes like the N1. A reckless driver travelling at 182 kilometres an hour was recently apprehended, underscoring the dangers of irresponsible driving. Joining us now is Isaac Sileku, the MEC for Mobility in the Western Cape, to talk about the province's road safety initiatives. MEC, appreciate your time. Now, I believe you may have witnessed this individual doing 182 kilometres an hour.
Yes, Hugo. A compliment for the season, and thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah, it was very unfortunate, Hugo, that we were part of what happened. We experienced reckless driving on our national roads, because what happened, we were on our way back from an interprovincial operation between the Northern Cape in Three Sisters and the Western Cape. Then on our way back to Beaufort West, we were confronted by someone who was driving recklessly on our roads. We had to give way so that he can pass. And subsequent to that, we witnessed, two cars doing a similar thing, because on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, they had to give way for him because he was in the middle of a road. And we were very fortunate to be able to get hold of him, because I alerted one of my provincial traffic officers in Beaufort West, and we got him at Engine Garage when he was refilling his fuel. And then that's where, where he scanned his disc, and they picked up that he was driving 182 kilometers per hour. And that's why he was apprehended and taken to the police station.
You said they scanned his disc and were able to confirm his speed. How does that system work?
Now, we've got average cameras on our national roads, so they can actually pick up, because on our average speed on our national roads is 120. So we've got systems within the Western Cape, we are grateful for that. It can pick up as the speed at which you are driving, and we're able to pick it up.
Okay, now how effective has this average speed over distance operation been on the N1?
No, it has been very effective. It has been very effective, because what happens when we have our static roadblocks, we are able to scan your disc, we are able to scan your driver's license, and we can pick up if you got any outstanding fines and at what speed and when you were stopped. And then it gives us an indication as to what needs to be done and whether we need to issue with a fine. And if you got outstanding fines, we also explain to you what is it that is necessary that you need to do as a driver. We can also pick it up when you also don't have your PDP. It's very effective, and it helps us to track, in terms of the information on our gadgets that we have as a province.
All right, I want to track back to the 182 kilometre an hour speedster. Just walk us through what's happened. Has he been apprehended? Has he been to court? Has he been arrested?
No, what is sad about it, it's just, that's what I'm saying, it must be a whole of society approach. We as the provincial law enforcement, we can do as much as we can do. We've done our best. We looked at our systems. We've got the proof. We've got the evidence. It was taken to the police station in Beaufort West by the provincial traffic officer. And unfortunately, he was released on the same day. So he will have to come back to Beaufort West and appear in court. So we'll be keeping a close eye in terms of this particular case, what is going to happen with it. And that's the unfortunate part, because we have similar instances nationally where we know people are not kept at the cells because, there's no space. And unfortunately, we do as much as we do, and then people, are released, and then they need to come and appear in court. And we'll be, watching this case closely and to see what is actually going to happen.
So this individual who is driving 182 kilometres an hour without an endorsement of his driver's license is likely to be able to drive at that speed until he appears in court. In your view, how should the system actually work?
That's the unfortunate part. You are issued with a fine, and then you are taken to the court, and then the court will issue with a date. And then unfortunately, what happens during that time of your arrest, and when you are issued with a date, you can do as you like. You can still drive in the same speed, and until you appear in court. And then in court, you also will look at the conditions and look at the case, and then a sanction will be given to you. Even it's the same with drunken driving as well. For first offense, people are very lenient. For repeating offenders, it's a different scenario. So those are the kind of issues that we as MECs within our country will have to lobby for legislation to make sure when people actually speed, they don't get off lightly, that there is harsher, sentences for such individuals. And for people to be arrested and then released so that they can appear in court is actually demoralizing for our traffic officers because we are visible 24/7, and when we apprehend people, we take them to SAPS and then they are released, and which is not actually, helping us. It's actually demoralizing for our traffic officers on our roads in terms of what we want to see happening on our roads, in terms of bringing back respect and people adhering to the rules of our roads in the Western Cape.
Obviously, understand that frustration, MEC, but let's also talk about the number of deaths on the country's roads. I think well in excess of 500 during this festive period. Now, what measures are in place to educate and encourage motorists to take personal responsibility for their behaviour on the roads? And I'd like to think that much of this education or advocacy should take place long before we get to these peak travel periods.
What we've been doing as the Western Cape, especially for my Department of Mobility, we have been to schools, we have been road safety management officers within mobility, have been to malls, we have been to open air where we are teaching people, we're advocating, raising awareness. I personally have been to Kailicha Mall during the festive season. We are still having a similar, operation now. I'm on the N1 here at Rietfontein, for people coming from the Eastern Cape, going to Western Cape, and we are also having a similar one on the other side from people coming from Cape Town to the Eastern Cape and to Joburg, where we are, doing everything within our power from the side of education and raising awareness. I have been on radio stations, I have been releasing media statements, and from the side of the city has been with us on the ground. Our municipalities have been on the ground. We have been spreading the message, making sure people know what to do when they want to cross our roads and what they need to do when they want to go on long routes. They need to check their tires, make sure the cars are roadworthy, you have all your papers. And then if you feel you are tired, rest, get some water, get some coffee, stretch your legs. And we have been consistent, throughout the year. But we still find people not adhering, still people not just saying, they continue as business as usual. But we are not going to be deterred. We are not going to lose hope. We are going to keep on preaching and making sure that the message of safety within our roads becomes everybody's responsibility.
Let me say, we've talked a lot about the people, we've talked about the motorists out on the roads of South Africa. But let's talk about law enforcement teams and how they're managing the stress and pressure of ensuring road safety during such a busy travel period. I'd imagine that the amount of time that they're getting to rest between shifts is limited.
Yeah, unfortunately, one have to commend, and I take my hat off, for our traffic, law enforcement officers, whether it's from the city, whether it's from local municipalities, whether it's from province, especially even National Traffic Police. They have been deployed in our province. And I'm telling you, the guys, you can see the guys are tired. What do? We just need to motivate and say, we've just left with a few days and then you guys can rest, because guys have been, you can see the guys are tired. They have been on our roads. They are doing everything in their power to make sure that there is more visibility on our roads, especially in the last 10 days. We have to up it again. I've been in consistent conversation with our traffic officers, our traffic chiefs within our province for the 13 traffic centers in our province, making sure that, we up our game, we intensify visibility. But guys are tired, but they also understand, for them, it's not about writing tickets or chasing targets. It's about saving lives. And they've accepted my call of making sure that we save lives on our roads. And when the time comes for them to rest, they will rest. I have not been resting myself. Hence, it's important for me to be with them on the ground so that they can also, get motivated. So that I'm not just pushing you, but I'm with you, during this time. I'm with you during the sun, when it's raining, when it's cold. I've been with you. I have been with them today, and I'm still going to be with them because after this interview, I will have to go to Aberdeen, with the deputy minister, where we are going to have an provincial intervention within Eastern Cape and the Western Cape. So we are tired, but we are not, we are not going to stop. We're not going to rest until, we are happy with what is happening on our roads.
Let me see. Thank you for your time, and we commend you for the amount of work that you're doing to ensure that South Africa's roads remain safe.